Vac Prime Xylos, Supreme Commander of the Kryvax Dominion forces, watched through compound eyes as the last human resistance fighter collapsed beneath the concentrated fire of his assault troops. The battle for Earth, the final world in humanity's rapidly diminished sphere of influence, had lasted far longer than Dominion tacticians had predicted. These primitives, with their fragile bodies and rudimentary weaponry, had somehow managed to hold off the galaxy's most formidable fighting force for nearly 3 standard cycles. But now, finally, it was over. "Sweep complete, Supreme Commander," reported Sub-Commander Vrex, mandibles clicking in formal deference. "All surface resistance has been neutralized. Planetary conquest is at 98%. 98? Xylos's voice resonated with irritation, vibrating the chitin plates along his thorax. "Explain the discrepancy." Vrex's antennae twitched nervously. "A single facility remains, deep beneath their northern polar ice, heavily shielded. Our bombardment had minimal effect, and ground forces report catastrophic losses when attempting direct assault." Xylos hissed in annoyance. These humans and their desperate last stands. Always one more bunker, one more hidden outpost. One more futile gesture of defiance. "Prepare the Worldbreaker," he commanded. "If we cannot claim this facility, we will bury it." The massive Dominion flagship, hovering in low orbit above what had once been the human capital of Washington, began repositioning. On the tactical display, Xylos watched as targeting systems locked onto the coordinates of the troublesome human facility. The Worldbreaker's primary weapon, capable of fracturing continental plates, would ensure that whatever pathetic remnant of humanity sheltered there would be entombed beneath millions of tons of ice and rock. "Worldbreaker primed, Supreme Commander," announced the weapons officer. Firing sequence initiated. Xylos stretched his 4 upper limbs in anticipation. The humans had fought well, he would grant them that. Their military archives would make for interesting study in the Dominion's war colleges. Anomalous energy spike detected at target site. The sensor officer's alarmed report cut through the bridge's atmosphere of impending victory. Before Xylos could demand clarification, the tactical display flickered. Then, impossibly, it showed movement beneath the polar ice, massive sections shifting, sliding apart to reveal something. "Magnify," Xylos ordered, unease prickling along his spine. The display zoomed in on a massive circular opening that had appeared in the ice sheet. From within this aperture rose a structure, a platform carrying what appeared to be hundreds of metallic cylinders arranged in neat rows. "Analysis?" Xylos demanded. "Unknown, Supreme Commander," Vrex responded, all 4 of his clawed hands dancing across his console. "The cylinders appear to be some form of cryogenic storage units." There, opening. On the display, the cylindrical pods were indeed splitting apart, revealing their contents humanoid figures, but larger, bulkier than standard humans. As they emerged, each figure was immediately encased in what could only be combat armor, materializing around them like liquid metal, solidifying into matter-black exoskeletons. "Impossible," Xylos whispered. "Our intelligence indicated no such technology or forces in the human arsenal." The first of these armored giants took a step forward, and the sensor readings went wild. "Supreme Commander, these are not standard humans," the science officer reported, voice trembling. "Genetic analysis indicates extensive modifications, enhanced musculature, reinforced skeletal structure, neurological alterations. And the armor. It's interfacing directly with their nervous systems." "How many?" Xylos demanded. "We count 500 currently activating," Vrex replied. "But the facility appears to contain thousands more." On the display, the first wave of these super soldiers began to move with frightening coordination and speed. One raised what appeared to be a simple handheld weapon, and fired at a Dominion scout craft that had ventured too close. The scout craft, a combat-hardened vessel that could withstand direct hits from military-grade plasma cannons, simply disintegrated. Abort world-breaker firing sequence, Xylos ordered immediately. All ships, establish defensive perimeter. These are not. His command was cut short as dozens of the black armored figures suddenly vanished from the display, only to reappear instantaneously throughout his fleet. Teleportation technology, another capability humanity had supposedly never developed. Alarms blared across the bridge as reports flooded in from ships throughout the Dominion fleet. Boarding actions, internal explosions, drive systems failing, communications being jammed. Supreme Commander Vrex's voice had lost all military discipline, descending into pure fear. We're receiving a transmission from the surface. Audio only. Play it, Xylos ordered, trying to maintain composure as his magnificent conquest crumbled around him. A deep human voice, somehow more resonant than any human Xylos had encountered before, filled the bridge. This is Colonel Magnus Vega, commanding officer of Earth's Hibernation Battalion, the voice announced without preamble. You have invaded our home, slaughtered our people, and believed us defeated. Your tactical error was assuming that what you saw was all that we had. On the display, more of the cryogenic pods were opening, releasing hundreds more of the enhanced soldiers. 70 years ago, the voice continued, when humanity first detected your Dominion's expansion toward our sector, we made a decision. We would meet you conventionally, fight you with our standard military, while keeping our true strength in reserve. Xylos felt his limbs grow cold as understanding dawned. A deliberate sacrifice, he whispered. They sacrificed billions of their own. Everything you have witnessed until now, every battle, every world lost, every apparent technological limitation, was calculated to bring your entire fleet here, to Earth, to our doorstep. Colonel Vega continued. While one branch of humanity fought and died to buy time, another was being transformed, enhanced, prepared. We slept, waiting for this exact moment, when your victory seemed absolute, when your guard would be lowest. Another ship in the Dominion fleet exploded silently in the vacuum of space, its fragments drifting past the flagship's viewports. You may have killed the last natural human today. Vega's voice had taken on an almost contemplative quality, but in doing so, you've awakened what comes after humanity. We thank our fallen brothers and sisters for their sacrifice, and now we begin our counteroffensive. The transmission ended. Xylos turned to his command staff, who looked to him for leadership, for a strategy, for hope. He had none to offer. In his 3 centuries of military service, he had never encountered such a comprehensive trap. An entire species, willingly sacrificing its conventional forces, billions of lives, as part of a strategic deception. Supreme Commander Vrex's voice was barely audible over the alarms. More pods are opening. Thousands now. And they're activating some kind of propulsion systems. They can operate in vacuum without vessels. Xylos stared at the tactical display, watching as swarms of the black-armored figures rose from Earth's surface, heading directly toward the remaining Dominion ships. His magnificent fleet, the pride of the Kryvax Dominion, conquerors of 17 star systems, reduced to prey. Send the emergency transmission to Homeworld, he ordered quietly. All ships, initiate emergency jump protocols. But Supreme Commander, Vrex protested, the jump drives need 3 minutes too. We don't have 3 minutes, Xylos interrupted, watching as the first wave of Earth's awakened defenders reached his outer defense perimeter. We don't even have one. As the bridge view screen filled with the approaching swarm of humanity's final, terrible evolution, Xylos realized that the conquest of Earth hadn't been the end of humanity. It had been the beginning of something far worse.